From Castle Rexworth and the Rexworth Estates, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. My name is Rexworth, Lord Rexworth, and I welcome you to a Wednesday midday stream. We're going to be experimenting with some different time slots to see what works, see what doesn't work. You know, VTubing is just all about experimentation, finding out what works for you, finding out what doesn't work for you, and then adjusting your strategy accordingly. But yeah, we're going to give it a try today, and we're going to we're going to play Call of Dragons. This is another sponsored stream as part of the campaign with Stream Elements, and later on we're doing video reacts. So let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about. Boo, hey Bun, welcome in, welcome in. So let me tell everybody about Call of Dragons for those of you who are maybe new here. Call of Dragons is an MMO fantasy conquest game from the creators of Rise of Kingdoms, and it offers this incredible strategic combat experience. And the goal of the campaign here with Stream Elements and Call of Dragons is to drive new users to download the Call of Dragons game on PC and reach certain milestones within the game. We can keep track of that with the progress bars in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen here. And the campaign is promoting the PC version of the game, so only PC players will be counted towards the goals. However, you can download Call of Dragons for an iOS or an Android device. Did I scare you? But I scared you. Pleasantly so, Bun. Pleasantly. But what's the line from Toy Story that Woody says to Rex the dinosaur? I was close to being scared that time. So he's like, "Oh, I think I've got a scary roar in me, but I don't feel it." Oh, that was a classic movie. Been a while since I've seen that one. Probably need to watch it again. Anyway, Rexy, we have a crisis. Oh dear, oh dear. What is the crisis? I wonder. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to be doing that today. Oh, by the way, let me punch in the code. Exclamation mark COD. And there you have it. Download Call of Dragons for free, and you can reach city levels 5 and 11 to support the stream and join my alliance to have fun together. The link is there in the chat. Got logged out of my reality account. Oh no. Oh no. Well, hopefully you can retrieve the login soon and get back in. That it does take a while for Google to respond to those things. I've noticed that they sometimes take about 48 hours, maybe even longer, to get access. Yeah, got to wait 48 hours. Yeah, that's less than desirable. So yeah, that's but yeah, But I guess in the meantime, if you've got an alt account, maybe use that one? I don't know. Anyways, but sorry to hear about that, Bon. That's never pleasant to deal with. Yeah, I recently had to deal with that myself with another email address. Downloading Genshin on my laptop. Oh, good. Yeah, I think you'll. If you haven't played Genshin Impact before, you'll like it. And if you like Genshin Impact, you'll also like Honkai Star Rail. Star Rail's a good one. I've tried the other one, Honkai Third Impact. I mean, it's all right. It just, I don't know, it doesn't hit quite as well as Star Rail and Genshin. Which, maybe picking those up again fairly soon and having some more streams of them. Played it before, it's nice. Yeah, they're fun games. They're really fun, and I like that you can play them across multiple platforms, and excellent graphics. Voice acting is top-notch in multiple languages: English, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. I want New Villette. Oh yeah, I think I've been hearing about that character. Yeah, I have not gotten Neuvillette yet from my account with Genshin, but I'm sure I'll stumble across him eventually. But yeah, that's a fun game. And oh, I'll send you a photo of him. Ah, okay. So this is This is a husbando, I see. All right. Well, that's that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's got a couple of waifus there across Star Rail and Genshin that just they've got some lovely character designs overall. Um, a lot of fantasy and a lot of whimsy to them, to all of them. But yeah, they're just fantastic games. Anyways, and speaking of fantastic games, why don't we go ahead and jump in here to our gameplay of Call of Dragons. He's the Dream Husbando. All right, then. Let me go ahead and bring down our music here. That way we can have nothing but the game audio going. Sent you a photo. All right. Let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, my. Well, he is a handsome sort of chap, isn't he? Is that a sword or is that a walking stick that he's got? Looks more like a walking stick, though it could be used as a sword, I suppose. I do like the blues, though. I think if I were to be designed as a Genshin character, I'd want him to look. I'd want him to look like this chap here. This is, yeah, very handsome, very dashing. There were dragons here. Oh my! Welcome in, Gorgane. Welcome in. Yeah, let's see here. I think that all of our construction projects were wrapped up. Looks like we got the yeah, College of Order up to level 7 now. And let's see, Alliance. Yeah, okay. So all of our upgrades were going to take several hours. We just we ended stream and come back the next day. And there it is. That's very good. That's very, very good. Oh, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't plug the usual things, everybody. Putting the website in chat, all links available, lordrexworth.com, lordrexworth.com. And do follow me on Twitter as well. Twitter.com/Lord Rexworth. Shan't be calling it X anytime soon if I can at all get away with that. Let's see. Oh, yes. And looky here, bun. Looky here. Added in another code. You can also support his lordship through purchases at the throne shop, lordrexworth.store. Right. Let's see. Let's do our missions here. We are going to need to level up before we go on the Dragon Trail. And let's look at our heroes, see what all they've got. Let's see, we've got talent points 1. Let's upgrade his defense here. Ah, yes, Garwood is... Let's upgrade defense as well, and we'll also upgrade speed. Do we have anything we can upgrade the... Okay. No tokens yet, so we can't really exchange... Need more of these. How many tokens do we have? Need more Chachka tokens. Skills can be upgraded for this one. So let's go ahead and do that. Up to level 4. That's excellent. No talent points yet. Built like Kingpin, yeah. Tough looking thing, isn't he? Quite the brute. Same for this one, but he's rather friendly, as we've discovered with the personality. So. Do we have any? Can we upgrade talents with this lovely lady? No, doesn't look it. Let's collect some things here. Claim these for the day. Oh, that reminds me. Do our free draws. Oh good, we got some Allwyn tokens. Draw from the silver chest. More Chachka tokens and more Keller tokens and an elite medal. And a training speed up, that'll be handy. And also draw the equivalent of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. A Cloak of Stealth.
Could this be of use to our forces?
Another storm leaf. Yet another storm leaf. Illusory gems. This will be a handy item for her. Joyous fireworks. We've already got one of those. Gave it to our little goblin friend who rides the dragon. Veteran's Diary. I think that will be most useful with this one.
Stronger now.
Right, that's all the keys for Universal Artifact Compendium. So now that those are out of the way, yes, we've got enough Allwyn tokens that we can upgrade. Hero power is increased. That's good. And speaking of being built like Kingfin, Gargani, look at this one. Lost an eye in a battle. Yeah, you see this? See this guy here? Lost an eye, he did. An old veteran named Ordo. Also known as the One-Eyed Veteran, incidentally. Alright, let's see what else we can claim here. Yeah. Upgrading hero skills. Something about a shopping cart and a megaton of hamsters. Need to keep training forces here. And keep training swordsmen. Are we any injured? No. Okay. Rexy Yabon. Check our alliance here. Oh yeah, I got some help. Claim that. I love you too, Bun. Thought you get them over the hurdle. Scotta ditching me for a card again. Oh dear. Well, you're welcome to hang out with me as long as you like with the other cod. The kinda gentler cod. Thank you for thank you for requesting the links from Stream Elements there, Bon. Let's see here. Okay, helping a friend in need. Deploy legions to an open space ×1 on maneuvers. Right, let's go on maneuvers then.
We can deploy our legions to an empty space to allow them to take up an advantageous position ahead of battle. Just tap an empty space to deploy your legion there.
Very well. Deploy. Yes, let's go ahead and get them marching. Try and defeat some more of these dark creatures.
Taste the venom. The forests forsake you.
Battle seems to be going well. Except for our older Groot fellow here.
Life fading.
Let's go with perhaps someone else. Can we go with someone else?
For the forest. Face my fists. Heading out.
Always.
Life fading.
dear, I think it's had a chance to heal. That's no good.
Stay firm in the face of danger.
Heading out.
That which is taken from you will one day return.
Almost down.
For the forest.
All right. We took care of that. Probably going to need more legions. Definitely going to need to upgrade the Abbey. Let's use our building speed ups. If we can. Heal all of them.
Cheers!
Oh, Walder's got something to say.
Of all the libations of Tamaris, which do you think is best?
You first,
I like
Walder.
human ale best. It's not too strong, and it's got a rich, mellow flavour.
I do rather like rich and mellow.
There was an old woman who brewed her own in an alley by the orphanage. I always liked the smell.
Get drunk just on the vapors, did you?
Comes on strong when you first take a sip, but it soon softens to a light, malty taste.
Sounds tasty.
The feeling of a well-deserved pint. There's nothing like it. It's like you're walking on air.
Chat, if you are of legal drinking age, what are your favorite libations, I wonder? Feel free to post those in the chat.
Of course, I gave up drink after I joined the army. Really?
Sure, Walder, whatever you say. Neurons going burr. Oh, at the possibility of libations. Is that it, Kogani?
Cheers!
Walder comes up to you holding a list of names, looking somewhat exasperated. Found out Jaeger bombs are bad, so went whiskey. Found out that's a sad drink, so got to find a new one.
Do you remember those two brothers we rescued earlier?
Is whiskey a sad drink? I don't know. Never really made me sad. I rather like whiskey. Though I'm also quite partial to brandy. Going with Mother Russia. Oh, vodka. Okay. All right. And call people comrade. Keep a copy of the anthem of the USSR handy on your phone.
In that village that had been burned to the ground by the Darklings, they were hiding beneath the ruins.
Oh dear.
At first, I thought about taking them to the orphanage, but they said they wanted to help us fight the Darklings.
My new ringtone, getting on that. Good. That is excellent. Yes, I mean, sanctions aside, Russia does still produce some of the finest vodka in the world. Fairly certain you can still find Stolichnaya and maybe Russian Standard in most parts of the world. Excellent vodka. Belvedere is a good one. That's out of Poland. And then there's the French who are... Oh dear, well, I haven't stepped in it then. Bun, plug your ears. There's a French vodka called Grey Goose. That one's rather good. It's actually made in the Cognac region of France. And let's see, what else is there that's good vodka? Oh, the Japanese are actually starting to get into the vodka making business. Suntory has one called Haku. That is, I've got a bottle of it, and it makes for a very good martini. Which, by the way, if you've never had a martini, have a martini. You'll thank me for it later. And if you want something that will really knock you on your ass, try a Vespa martini, which for those of you who know anything about James Bond, you'll know that that is the original martini recipe. 3 measures of gin, 1 of vodka, a half measure of Lillet Blanc, shaken over ice, garnished with a thin slice of lemon peel. It's quite tasty, and does have a slight bitter aftertaste, but it's not bad. And it's quite unforgettable, and most people maybe one and they're done, because it is quite strong. First I thought about taking them to the orphanage. They said want to help us fight the Darklings, but they're far too young.
But they were insistent. Sarah said she wanted to join us too. She just graduated from the College of TR.
May have to do a video react sometime on that. I was going to do stuff on men's fashion today, but you know what? I think doing some video reacts about different drink recipes, that could be fun.
Those kids have no experience, and they're both skinny as rakes. What on earth are they thinking?
Well, let's hear them out.
Maybe
We're good at
I'm
it.
overlooking something, but I really don't think they belong in our army. War should be kept as far away from ordinary people as possible. That's why I fight.
Good way of thinking.
What happens on the battlefield? They shouldn't see things like that.
And ideally, we should work towards a world at peace, rather than a world at war. Trouble is, they already have seen things like that. Voldir looks dumbfounded and chuckles bitterly.
Your Grace, sometimes you're cool-headed to the point of being callous. But I understand what you mean. We can't watch over them all their lives. When the world's like this, the only person who can save you is yourself.
Indeed. Let's see, stone turned to gold. Let's keep going on that one. Part 5. Percy's Manor Hut. The shelves of Percy's Manor Hut are filled with bottles upon bottles of mana, sorted by purity and by form. You explain your business here, and Percy presents you with a bottle marked with a name that matches its luster. Tranquil Moonlight. Percy doesn't bother to give you a spiel, he just names his price. It's far more expensive than any other mana on the market. Let's get Keller to work her charms. Keller's been waiting for this. She slaps a flyer down in front of Percy. Pulling out her best saleswoman patter, she gives him a point-by-point sales pitch for her Heroes Reserve line of mana products. As he looks at you, Percy's expression changes to one of admiration, and he nods his head vigorously. By the time she's through, not only is he giving you a Tranquil Moonlight for free, he's put a down payment on Keller's next shipment. Fantastic. You leave Percy's Manor Hut, leaving him to attend to his precious collection.
My lord, everything is ready. I will begin enchanting the dragon glass.
Stand back, everyone. She's going to try magic.
The experiment may take some time.
You don't mind if I hang around, see the results? Promise I won't cause trouble. Besides, I figure y'all could do with a supplier who's willing to give you a friends and family discount.
Look forward to your success,
Good
Mother.
luck, Mora. Drunky's got his left hoof up. That means he's optimistic.
Right, that's finished then. I have to wait 10 minutes to do part 6. Let's see, Tech Intelligence Gathering 1 to level 2. Alright, claim the reward for that. Cave exploring. Let's investigate some caves. Send the scouts out. Let's defeat some Darkling patrols.
Stay firm in the face of danger.
Right, try not to die out there, gentlemen.
Regrettable.
It had no effect.
Stay firm in the face of danger. Regrettable.
Right, so maybe we try level 9.
For the forest. That which is taken from you will
Guide me toward the light. Farewell.
stay firm in the face of danger.
one ore mine.
The road before us is clear. I can do it.
One gold mine. Let's create another. Yeah, let's use Keller for that one.
Time's a wasting.
Rewards for deploying legions. That's good. That's good. Chat, real quick, taking a break for sponsor here. Let me tell you about our sponsor here, and that is Dubby. I'm now partnered with Dubby. You may have seen the tweet last night. Dubby is something rather special, formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, nootropics, including the patented Neurofactor. There's no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors, and made by professionals in the USA in an FDA-registered and inspected facility, strictly adhering to GMP guidelines. Go to the link there in the chat. Use the code Lord Rexworth at checkout for 10% off your order. That's 10% off your order using the code Lord Rexworth, all one word, at checkout. They've got some great flavors to choose from. You can even build your own 2-tub bundle or build a 5-tub bundle if you want. But they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flavors to choose from so far. They've got, let's see, a Collector's Tub reskinned partner flavor called Encounter Cream. This is a brand new one that they've just posted here. And that is a mango orange cream. This is actually a sort of a reskinned limited edition 1 of 300 collector's tub of, I believe, the Calio cream flavor, which is one of their newest. That's the mango orange cream flavor. There's green coffee fruit extract that's the star of the show, helps you to focus. You've got brain food, only the best amino acids like L-taurine, L-tyrosine, L-glutamine, and L-citrulline. And there's also brain-benefiting vitamins like B3, B6, B12, and C. There's 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. And it only costs you $1 per drink. That'll beat your daily coffee, a canned drink you get at the konbini or at the coffee shop or at the petrol station or wherever you happen to go. And even better, no crash, no jitters, no angst. Other flavors they've got Push and Punch. That's a Dubby Fruit Punch and Lemon Lime blend. Let's see what else they've got. Big Energy Tears. That's the finest blue raspberry flavor. There's Beach and Peach, which is a mango white peach cooler. And then there's Dragonade Energy, which is dragon fruit and pink strawberry lemonade. That sounds tasty. Galaxy Grenade, watermelon, guava, and lime explosion. And then there's Dub Sludge. Nothing radioactive about this, just Granny Smith apple and the secret sauce, blended together in a tasty energy treat. Go to the link there, dubby.gg. Use the code Lord Rexworth at checkout, or just click the link there and chat for Dubby. Be better. An energy drink you mix at home with no jitters and no crash. Let's see, how are we doing on the gold mines here?
Cash, and you'll miss out on the joy of the trade.
Okay, so it looks like a few more minutes left on that one. And it looks like they're still
Your
at it at the
spirit is
ore
no
mine
different from
too.
mine.
About 15 more minutes. And, oh, that's right, we can only have 2 legions out at a time, unfortunately. let's keep leveling up here. A level 8 wall requires a level 8 hospital, which requires a level 8 foundry. Probably just need to build some more. Getting close though. Draw another chest in the meantime. More Chachka tokens, some gold and wood.
Oh, me? Do you think explosives can be art?
Explosively so, why not? You've been hanging out with the goblins, haven't you?
As a matter of fact, we had a goblin engineer visit our ballista squadron. Interesting fellow. After he rifled through my schematics, he just looked at me and sighed. He told me that my designs were timid and convoluted to the point of tedium, and said I knew nothing of art.
Cheeky blighter.
Then he pulled out a strange-looking bomb from his equally strange-looking hat. I threw it as far away from us as I could. The smoke rose taller than a high shroom. In retrospect, it was pretty obvious that he was an imposter. But as they dragged him away, kicking and screaming about how he didn't appreciate the explosive arts, something didn't feel right to me. So, when nobody was looking, I gathered up whatever fragments of the bomb I could find. I guess if you discard everything that might be dangerous, art gets kind of boring, don't you think?
Perhaps. I don't know, explosive art. Probably a damn sight more interesting than a banana duct taped to the to a wall.
Want to see my latest prototype?
There's a sunny day in your city. The crimson bird's nest that is Nico's hair immediately catches your eye. He seems to be about to walk headfirst into a wall, and you shout for him to stop.
Oh, hello, Your Grace. Strange. I could have sworn there was no wall here on my schematics.
Right, sorry about that, chat. Could have sworn there was no wall here on my schematics. Seem a little distracted.
Had a lot on my mind lately. Guess I wasn't looking where I was going.
Well, you can always talk to me. Everyone else does.
It's one of the members of my ballista squadron. His name's Ziggy. He's always trying to challenge me to a duel. A duel of ballista marksmanship, I mean. Me and him, one-on-one. He keeps on trying to goad me into it. It's starting to get to me. I don't know how to get him to stop.
Maybe the only thing that'll work is to simply agree.
The thing is, we've competed before. This isn't the first time he's asked me. At first, I wasn't interested in the least. Besides, training and missions are putting Daybreak under enough stress already. But the captain insisted we put her to the test. So, I agreed to the duel. And I beat him.
Oh, congratulations. Nico suddenly stops talking. He seems lost in thought.
Come to think of it, ever since that duel, Ziggy's been getting more and more aggressive.
Wants to pay you out for it. Not willing to accept defeat.
He did say he'd best me one day, but I can't imagine that's the reason.
Anything else he may be upset about?
Well, there is one thing. One time he asked me how I always got the best results in training. I answered him to the best of my ability, but he seemed unsatisfied with my answer. Angry, even.
We're looking at a gifted one here, chat. His accomplishments and efforts are rather effortless.
But it's not like there's some big secret to it. Just focus, find the target, take aim, and fire.
Easy enough if you got the gift. Other people, it's not so easy. Oh, we've got mail. Just going to read and claim all. See, a level 9 patrol.
For the forest.
The future calls to us.
Poor thing's being slaughtered again and again.
Always be prepared. Come in.
Right, that's better.
They'll write songs about that one. Always be prepared. Come in. A lapse in judgment. I've got it under. Come in. Good job, everyone.
Excellent.
Your spirit is no different from mine.
Minutes sometimes feel like hours in this game. Still working on that ore. see. Yeah, we need to heal some people. That's good. Turn to gold part 6. Make some boards here. Upgrade using talent points. Ah, some talent points for this one too. This one can also be upgraded.
My lord, our heroes must develop their abilities so they can be of greater use to our forces. Heroes can gain experience by defeating Darklings or by using tactics manuals.
VTuber model going wild here. Hang on. There we are. That's better. That's good. Okay. Talent points. Right. Going with this one. Especially want to get this one upgraded, don't we? Very good. And chat, since we are at the hour mark and have kind of reached an impasse in the game, we'll go ahead and welcome back. How I do? Oh, not too bad, Kogani. I just had to take an important phone call offline there, so hence the be right back screen. Right. Let's go ahead and switch back over. And bring some music up here. Don't know. Yeah, we're going to be splitting this up into two parts here. Yeah. Well, the video reacts are coming up here in just a moment, but yeah, one more time, let's go ahead and punch in the code here for Call of Dragons. Remember, chat, you can download Call of Dragons for free. We're doing a campaign where if you reach city levels 5 and 11 to support the stream, you can join my alliance. We'll have fun together. Just click that link to download the PC version. And yeah, that's all there is to it. This is a sponsored portion of the stream. Downloading that and reaching certain milestones, as we see here in the bottom left of the screen, that really helps me out. And Stream Elements will even pay me a nice little bonus of a couple of $100 for the whole thing. So let's go ahead and claim the last of our rewards here. And we'll go ahead and end the game. Close that out. That's good. And go back and go ahead and bring back up the... That's good. And then we're going to switch over. Check my solo window over here. There we go. That's what we need. Perfect. Desktop audio looking good. Music's good. And bring it down just a little bit more. Right, and before we move over to Video Reacts, let me tell you about another sponsor of the stream here, and that is Wise. Pull up my information here so that I can tell you all about Wise. I'll put that there. We are. Yeah, Wise is another sponsor of mine. And it's a fantastic tool for travelers, for digital nomads, for people operating around the world who want to send money quite easily. You know, more than 10 million people and businesses have stopped using banks, PayPal, and traditional providers because Wise is just cheaper, faster, and easier. There's huge companies and banks now using Wise technology too. It's an entirely new cross-border payment network that'll one day power money without borders for everyone and everywhere. I mean, just think about that, chat. Money without borders. It's instant, it's convenient, it's transparent. Eventually, it'll even be free. Wise is powering money for people and businesses in their increasingly global lives to pay, to get paid, to spend in any currency, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. When traveling abroad, consider Wise. With their multi-currency account and debit card, you can spend and withdraw money in over 40 currencies from local ATMs, much cheaper than using your local bank. And when you shop using the Wise debit card, no foreign transaction fees. Nasty little 3% charge that a lot of banks like to stick in there every time you purchase something in a foreign currency. Not so with Wise. No foreign transaction fees here. You can spend like a local with the help of Wise. So, I'm going to punch in a code here. You can open your Wise account now by clicking that link there in the chat window. That's Wise. Spend like a local. Be wise with Wise. Right. Let's get over to our video reacts. So, chat, I am quite the fan of men's fashion, especially of suits, of looking my absolute best. I've always believed that when in doubt, you need to overdress for an occasion and strive to be the best dressed in the room, because the best dressed owns the room. And so today we're going to be doing some video reacts on a topic that's near and dear to me, and that's men's suits. And got a few here that I've added in. Going to talk about how to suit up for an occasion. Right. Let's do it. Turn up the audio just a little bit.
People always ask me questions about the suits that I'm wearing, and I want to take the time out to make a video dedicated to just that, picking out the perfect suit and dressing it up to perfection. First things first, fit is king. Doesn't matter what brand you're wearing, it doesn't matter how much you've spent on your suit. If it doesn't fit, it's a bad suit.
Right. Chat. These slim fit and extra slim fit things that you've seen in the shops over the past couple of years, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a trend that lasts. You need to have a fit that's comfortable, and IRL, I'm not exactly the slimmest fellow in the world, also not the fattest either, but somewhere in between. And for us in-betweeners, slim fit, and especially extra slim fit, is too tight. It's too tight. You need to have something that has ample room, that is flattering to your silhouette, but is also comfortable. You know, we want substance and functionality here, balanced out with style. You know, you don't necessarily have to have one over the other, but it needs to be comfortable. And you know, there's certain body types that that it does work. But for most people in the developed world, slim fits just don't quite cut the mustard. So go with something that's more of a classic fit.
I see a lot of guys getting a suit that's one size too big. And the result of that is that the shoulders of the suit flop over your natural shoulders, and you get this dent. An easy way to check if the suit shoulder fits you
that
right
weird pucker,
is to go up against the wall. Your suit should make contact with the wall first, followed by your shoulder. If there's any bunching of fabric in between that, your suit is too big. If your shoulder hits the wall first before the fabric of the suit is too tight. It's important that you're able to comfortably cross your arms without tearing the fabric across your back. Moving on down the suit, you want to make sure that the fit at the stomach is right too. The way you check that is you button the top button of the suit and slide your hand in between that button. If your hand feels too tight in that area, it's possible that your suit is too small, or if there's way too much room in there, your suit is likely too big. The fabric of the jacket should drape the natural contour of your arms without bunching up, being too tight, or loose. The length of the sleeve is also crucial. You want to be comfortable showing at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch of your shirt below your suit. This is one of those alterations that needs to be done by a tailor. Because anatomically, we're all different. We're not symmetrical. One arm can be longer than the other.
That's true. I think technically I actually had a jacket made to measure for me. And the tailor did note this. He said, you know, one of your arms seems to be about maybe just a fraction of a centimeter longer than your other arm. So, yeah, our arms are going to be not perfectly the same length. Same with our legs. You know, there's always going to be a few minor differences here and there. And a good tailor is going to be able to notice those differences and make adjustments accordingly. So, yeah, but a good tailor is worth their weight in gold. And this is, just find yourself a good tailor. And once you do, keep that contact information in your phone or someplace safe. That way you can always refer to them. Actually have a few tailors that you can go to. You need to have some good go-to tailors is the point.
And debated how long your suit should be. And really, there's a simple answer to this. You want your suit to fall somewhere between your wrist and the middle of your thumb, but most importantly, it has to cover your bottom. So we talked about the jacket of the suit, now let's talk about the pants. First, you want to make sure that the waist of the pants fits you properly. How do you find your natural waist? Well, take 3 fingers and place them right below your belly button, and that's your natural waist. That's where your suit pants should fit. These aren't jeans, these aren't sweatpants, so don't let them sink too low. Your suit's pants should fit comfortably without the need for a belt. In fact, the best quality suit pants are made without belt loops. They're made with little hinges and attachments on the sides to make small changes in case you gain a pound or two. The suit fabric should naturally drape the contour of your legs without being too loose or snug. Now let's talk about the length of the pants. There is some flexibility in deciding how you want the hem of your pants to look. You can go for no break, half break, or a full.
I think chat, what we're looking at here, in terms of the diagram, um, the crop and no break or slight break, no, just no. I just happy to just happy to have a good pair of trousers, eh, Kogani? Yeah. I what you see from slight break over to crop here on the diagram, that is more of a recent phenomenon, I think, and it doesn't look very good in my view. I don't think it's going to be one of these things that lasts forever. It's just sort of a passing fad. Yeah, crop is too sus. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the trousers weren't measured properly and they weren't you didn't get the right size. Yeah, cover the ankles. Yeah, I would say a full break is all right. Probably safe is there in the middle, like a half break. Just covers the top bit of your shoes, and that's just right. It's kind of hitting that sweet spot. But yeah, a half break or a full break. Full break sometimes can be a bit tricky to get just right, especially if you are one where your weight and physique tends to fluctuate a bit. You do run the risk of where the heel of your shoe can end up stepping on the back of your trouser leg. So I think a safe middle there is the half break where it covers just the top of your shoe, and you don't run the risk of stepping on your trouser leg.
Full break. I think the perfect look falls somewhere between a half break or no break at all. Because when you go for a full break, you get that ugly crease in your shins.
Yeah,
and it
that's
doesn't make
another
the
good
suit look
point.
flattering. Now let's talk about the details which can really bring your personality to light. Starting from top to bottom, let's look at the lapels. The three most popular variations of a lapel is the notch lapel, which is that classic one you see on most suits. Then you have the peak lapel, which is the one I'm wearing now, a little bit more formal, a little bit more flashy. And then you have the shawl collar, which is something that you see traditionally at more formal events like award shows or galas. But throw all those
Yeah, shawl collars are typically better with a tuxedo. I would reserve the shawl collar for that, even though he's saying, yeah, throw all the rules out the window. One little tip, depending on your height, if you are a gentleman of shorter stature, you may want to look at peak lapels like what this chap is wearing here in the video. I can't quite explain it, but it seems like peak lapels, it's almost as though they make you seem taller. I know that sounds crazy, but um, yeah, for whatever reason, it just works. So if you're maybe 5'8" or lower, maybe consider having peak lapels. For some reason, it has that perception of making people look taller. At least that's been in my experience. Now, people like myself who are about roughly 5'10", 6 inches tall, notch lapels are safe, but actually, notch lapels will look good on anyone. Notch lapels are just that classic look, kind of the default, but it works. Peak lapels have sort of, I don't know, they've sort of gone in and out of fashion here and there, and the more common type of lapel is the notch lapel. Safest choice for more conservative business wear. Peak lapel certainly has its use in suiting. You can also find tuxedos with peak lapels, but especially when it comes to formal wear of black tie and tails, the short collar, definitely a short collar. Tired of these combat boots and cowboy boots. Well, I suppose you could get lifts for your shoes. Just, I guess, try not to get them too tall to where they look painfully obvious. Anyway.
those rules out the window. If you feel like one of those lapels matches your personality or your look best, don't be afraid to try it. Give it a go and see if it works with your outfit.
Don't be
Let's
afraid
talk
to
about
experiment.
the buttons of a suit. We're going to be talking about single-breasted suits only, leaving
Yeah, double-breasted suits basically oh, yeah, no, here's a good tip. With a double-breasted suit, they're pretty much always going to come with peak lapels, or they should. I would not get a notch lapel suit that happens to be double-breasted like that. And with double-breasted suits, they always stay buttoned. There's the rule with buttons. Most suits you see these days have 2 buttons. I know 3-button suits became a thing again back in the 2000s. And there's a quick little rule with with buttons, and it's the rule of sometimes, always, never. So with a 3-button suit, and more traditionally, bespoke clothing was 3-button with the 3rd button folded over. And there goes that North American nationwide EMS test. There we go. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes. 1, 2, or 3 buttons. 2 buttons is the most common. 3 buttons, not so much. And then a 1-button suit is almost unheard of, but it's not entirely out of the question. You may see 1-button suits with a lot of Italian or possibly German tailoring. It's a bit more contemporary that way. But most of the time, when you go suit shopping, you're going to find 2-button suits. And the rule with buttons is sometimes, always, never. You can have a 3-button suit folded over on the lapels just so that it covers up and hides the 3rd button to where it looks more like a 2-button suit. A lot of bespoke tailoring is still done that way. But with 3 buttons, top button is sometimes, middle button always, bottom button never. And then with 2 buttons, top button sometimes / always, bottom button never. And then sort of throw the rule book out with 1-button suits. Good way to, I mean, a really good suit, you should be able to keep it buttoned when you're sitting down. However, a lot of people prefer to, especially with a 2-button suit, I'm sort of the same way. I prefer to unbutton the top button whenever I go to sit down, give myself a bit more breathing room, a bit more flexibility that way. But it can also be sometimes a sign that the suit is ill-fitting, or that the suit jacket is ill-fitting. But it's not necessarily, it's not always a bad thing if you choose to unbutton the top button whenever you go to sit down somewhere. I'm like that. I do that almost out of habit. Whenever I stand up, I button up the top button of my suit jacket. And, whenever I go on walkabouts, I, keep it buttoned, only unbuttoning it to if I need to reach for something or to, need a bit more flexibility in whatever it is I'm doing. And then I'll unbutton it whenever I go to sit down. I'm back, alive. Oh, good. Do stay alive, Bun. For all of our sake. Yes, back just in time. We're just getting underway here. Yeah, we're just talking about the rules with buttons, and the whole notion of sometimes, always, never. Like with 3-button suits, sometimes top, always middle, never the bottom button. 2-button suits, sometimes / always with the top button, never with the bottom button. If you see somebody who is buttoning the bottom button of their suit, unless it's double-breasted, they're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong. And there may sometimes be like exceptionally windy or cold days where they step out and they don't have their overcoat. And I suppose it's forgivable that they would want to button the bottom button, make sure that they stay insulated and warm. But generally speaking, as a rule, top button, button it whenever you're standing up. Optional, unbutton it whenever you sit down, but never button the bottom button. It's just kind of there for show. If they button the bottom button, I slap them. No, you don't have to slap them. Maybe wag your finger. I don't know. We'll just sort of sweet talk them into into realizing the error of their ways. Yeah. There's your rules for suit jackets and when to button what button.
The double-breasted suits behind. The most important part to remember is do not button the bottom button.
Yes.
It's like a tongue twister. But seriously, don't button the bottom button. I recommend going with the 2-button suit. It's classic. It works
Yes.
in all styles. You can wear it
It's
to a formal
timeless.
event.
It just
you can make it
works.
less formal by dressing it down with some jeans. Good
There you
quality
go.
suits have functioning or working buttons. Believe it or not,
Yes. See, here's something else that you'll notice whenever you buy off the rack, as it were. That's whenever you go to, say, a department store or a men's boutique. Slap 'em always gets the message across quick and fast. All right. It's your roll of the dice on there, Bun. But something I do want to point out, and it might actually help if I show my mouse here. Capture cursor. There we go. Transition like so.
functioning buttons.
Something, yeah, with the buttons on the sleeve cuff. Um, a lot of the jackets and suits that you'll see in department stores, and in men's clothing boutiques, stuff that you may buy online from a lot of places, you'll notice that they've got these buttons down here on the sleeve, but they don't work. They're just sort of sewn in there's sort of this faux buttonhole, um, and it's there for decoration. Um, that's usually with what's known as off the rack. So it's stuff that's already ready made to a universal type pattern. You just get it tailored at a local tailoring shop, and then you're good to go. Most of those at those price points are going to be the sort of faux buttons and faux buttonholes. Higher end suits, and especially the ones that are made to measure and fully bespoke, those are going to have working buttons on the sleeves. And you may find with some off the rack clothing manufacturers, they do this. Some are starting to have fully working buttonholes. I think I want to say maybe Charles Turret of London. They've got a lot of off the rack men's clothing. They're an excellent source for suits, for shirts, for neckties if you're getting started. I believe they've got working buttonholes as a feature on a lot of their suit jackets. I like wearing suits, but I like wearing my dresses more. I mean, as it should, as you should, Bun, being a lady and all. But there are certainly lovely blazers and sport jackets that will suit a woman just as easily as a man. In fact, I believe when it comes to the sort of New England prep type clothing style, one of those in particular, I think Brooks Brothers, started that trend when some ladies they wanted a nice quality jacket, and they saw what their boyfriends and their husbands were wearing, and they went to the people at Brooks Brothers there in New York and said, "Hey, I'd like a jacket made like what my brother, my boyfriend, or my husband has," and they obliged, and so you kind of had that cross-gender compatibility type thing going on. My dresses and skirts are more comfy. I can see that. We lads, especially myself, of Scottish background. I mean, that's why we keep wearing the kilts. That's why we keep wearing the kilts. Just saying.
Have a medical history. They used to be called surgeon's buttons because when surgeons had to run to the operating room, they would unbutton their sleeves, roll them up, and go to work. It's true.
That's an
A part
interesting
of the
bit of
suit that
history
you
there.
probably never paid attention to before is the vents. It's the backside of your suit, but it's equally as important as all the other details. Suits have three options you can go for the vents. You have
Oh yeah,
vent,
there's the
you have
vents.
the
Yeah, okay. I'm a Byrexia maid dress. Oh no. No. Oh dear. Phone's gonna turn me into another Lucius Merriweather. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So you got a few Vinster. I think the default here that most suits come in these days, especially the two button jackets, single vent. You got this one split in the fabric that's got cross stitching and whatnot. And provides for greater flexibility. Typically, you want to go with a double vent, though. That means there's just greater flexibility, more ventilation there in the back. No vent is quite uncommon. And I would not recommend a jacket with no vents. A single vent's good as sort of your starter suit, but the higher end clothing, and especially what tailors recommend when you start getting made to measure and bespoke, they'll recommend a double vent, just for the added ventilation, the added level of flexibility, because you want to be able to. Your suit should fit you like a second skin, and a double vent will help a lot. Will go a long way towards helping that along.
Single vent down the middle, or you have the double vent on the sides. I strongly recommend going for the double vent because when you sit down, the flap in the middle actually covers your bottom and doesn't make you look like a fool. Go with the flat front pant, no pleats. Please, no pleats.
Yeah,
Last detail of a suit that
pleats on pants. Those little almost look like little slats there on the front of the leg. They tend to. It's kind of an old man style. It was really big in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and so on. These days, though, what has been a lasting trend has been the no pleat flat front trousers. And yeah, I mean, it looks better, it looks cleaner, and it's something that's more readily available. If you find somebody who's trying to push a lot of pleated pants, it probably says something about their clientele that they're kind of suffering from a Woolworths effect. That you've got a lot of older men who are clientele, and you also may have a particular trouser maker who's behind the times. I don't, no pleats, no pleats. You, I know that suits these days have gotten that rap of being something rather stodgy and something that old men wear, but we don't need to look completely like old men. So no pleats in the trousers.
you can work on is either getting a cuff or no cuff at the bottom of your pant leg.
Yeah, the choice is yours. I would recommend no cuff. Cuffs are just things that, dust bunnies and other things can get caught in. No cuff on the trouser leg is a lot cleaner, and yeah, just it looks better overall. Check your Discord, lol. Oh dear. What am I looking at? What's going on? Yeah. Oh dear. Oh no. Anyway.
Really, the choice here is yours. Now let's talk about the color and fabric of suits.
Dust
If you're getting your
bunnies, the little
first
clumps
suit, you
of,
should definitely get
dust.
a suit that's going to be multi-purpose, that you can wear to weddings, that you can wear to events, that you can wear to
Yes,
work.
all-purpose
And a navy
suits.
suit for that fits all occasions.
Navy,
if you already have a
yes.
few suits and
I would recommend starting out if you don't have a suit, get a navy suit. Used to be back in the day, people would tell you, "Oh, get a black suit, get a black suit." No, 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 no. Start with a navy. Start with a navy suit. Maybe a charcoal gray or something like an ashen gray suit as well. Those are good starter ones. Black suit is, I mean, it's all right, but yeah, that should round out your closet rather well. And if you find yourself, um, if you find yourself, navy suits make a man look hot. I mean, it works for James Bond. It can be hard to tell, but in those first few films, Sir Sean Connery actually, I believe, wore a navy tuxedo. Now those have sort of fallen out of style a bit, to where people prefer the black tuxedos. Black is one of those things that's a bit more for evening time, and but also might make you, depending on the type of tie you wear with it, may make you look like a waiter or an undertaker or a valet, or maybe even make you look like a bodyguard or something, which, I mean, if that's what you're going for, that's fine. But start when you're building up your suit wardrobe, start with a navy suit, start with something that's a charcoal or a gray suit, and then black suit last. Quickly ordering Scott a navy suit. Charles Tuddett, Jermyn Street, London. Can't recommend them enough. especially for your first suits. They're just excellent, and the shirts are fantastic. That and Paul Frederick here in the U.S. Paul Frederick actually makes some of the most comfortable dress shirts that I've ever worn, and they're the only ones I know of that sell off the rack. What are known as broadcloth shirts, which are excellent for those warm summer months. Just fantastic. Uh, I'm taking that as a hint, Bun, that I need to start adding some men's clothing if I can to the throne shop. I'll see what I can do. I wonder if I think Charles Turdet has an affiliate program. I might be able to plug in some stuff there. Yeah, yeah. Well, I probably do then. Yeah. All right then. We can. I'll certainly look into that. I do need to fill out the luggage section as well. That'll be a topic for video reacts for another day. But yeah, let's keep going with this
and
one.
you're looking to buy more, there's two things that you should really focus on. That's your skin tone and the season. If it's winter, you want to go for something heavier like a wool or even a corduroy. If it's summer, you want to go for light fabrics like cotton, linen, or even a very thin, fine wool.
Yes, summer wool blends are actually perfect most places in the world, but especially in those hotter months. If you're living in somewhere like the global south, or you're living in kind of subtropical or tropical climates, and you want to look your best, linen and cotton suits, they breathe. I mean, they're like articles of clothing that just they keep on breathing, and they'll you'll look good wearing them, and you will also feel so comfortable. Synthetic fabrics and heavier wools and stuff. You try to wear those in subtropic or tropical climate, you're going to be miserable. But go for a summer wool blend, something that's a bit lighter. And that'll actually work for those of you who are world travelers going from warmer to colder climates, because you can always layer up. You can add in a vest, you can add an overcoat or a trench coat to keep warm, and you'll be all right. You'll be perfectly fine. One of my bespoke items is a summer wool blend suit jacket. It's so comfortable, so comfy. I'll get them for. Well, that's very generous of you, Bun. I'll yeah, you know what? I may just add some things there that I've had my eye on for a while. I'll have to think on that.
When talking about color, for the summer, you'd want bright colors. that
Yes,
pop and
bright
make a
colors in
statement.
summer,
But
exactly
for the
like
winter and the
this.
fall, you want brown tones, navy tones, dark
Yeah,
tones.
darker
it just
tones
generally
for
looks
winter.
good with the light of that season. Underneath your suit, I believe there's only two options that you could really go for. That's a t-shirt or a dress shirt. Wearing a t-shirt is a great way to dress down a suit and making it a little bit less formal, but still looking very well.
Quite right about that, especially, well, if you're going to dress down, that's all right. I would say, dress for the occasion, of course. Don't underdress. When in doubt, overdress. That said, especially in those summer months where it can get to be, over 40 degrees Celsius or over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in parts of the world, most people are reasonable enough, they'll forgive you for not wearing a necktie. They will, and some people might understand completely if you opt to do what I refer to as the Don Johnson look of a t-shirt underneath a suit jacket. A lot of this style that you see here, I believe this is Lewis Hamilton that we're looking at a photo here, the championship driver for Mercedes McLaren for Formula One. But he's wearing what a style of clothing that was popularized by the actor Don Johnson back in the 1980s on a television show called Miami Vice. And that was the trademark of Don Johnson's character, Sonny Crockett, who was an undercover police officer for Miami's Vice Squadron. He was always portraying this part undercover as a smuggler that had a wealthy smuggler that had rolled up into town and had a fast boat and lived on a sailboat and had a pet alligator named Elvis. Um, and one of his signatures, one of his trademarks with clothing, wore he always wore pastel colors. Miami Vice was all about pastel colors, and he would always wear these linen suits or sort of linen suit separates, usually white or sometimes a cream color or khaki color. And then you always have these bright pastel T-shirts, like a pink here, like what we see Lewis wearing, or maybe a bright teal blue or Tiffany type blue shirt, or maybe yellow with a blue jacket. And it's a fantastic style. I mean, Miami Vice was filmed 40 years ago, back in the 1980s. The styles still hold up to this day. They still look rather timeless. Some elements may look a bit dated, but the idea of pastels and linens and cotton suits and t-shirts underneath a suit jacket in warm tropical climate, it holds up even today, and I think it'll hold up for decades, even generations to come. It just looked fantastic, I will say that for a while during the summer, before I sort of outgrew these suits, I actually had some linen suits that are paired up with pastel-colored T-shirts, and I always looked the business and got compliments wherever I went. So yeah, I'm rather proud of that. Sadly, however, the jackets had a bit of a short lifespan and just didn't quite last very long.
Dress. The type of t-shirt I'd normally go for is either a white or black v-neck tee. It keeps the lines of the suit looking very crisp.
Yeah, v-neck
doesn't
or
take
Henley,
away from
that's
the
another
suit,
good one.
but still allows you to look very well dressed, very proper, and very sharp. Make sure that it's a slim fit t-shirt, there's not too much fabric bunching up down the middle, and also that it's not too long.
Good
You don't
idea.
want your shirt to be longer than your suit. That just makes it look messy. Dress shirts. Let's not get too complicated here. You want a shirt that fits really well, snug, but not causing any kind of creasing, no pulling on the buttons. Most importantly, you want a shirt that's long enough so it stays neatly tucked into your pants all day. You want to get a set.
Yes, here's another thing, everybody. Tuck in your bloody shirt, especially if you're wearing a suit. You look like an absolute slob if you don't. And one of the things I will say, even when I was doing the whole Miami Vice look with a t-shirt and pair of matching linen jacket and trousers, I still tucked in the shirt because it just looked better that way. Now, in more casual environments, if you're not wearing a jacket, I suppose it would be acceptable. But when it comes to a suit, no exceptions. Tuck in your shirt.
Semi-spread collar. It's the collar that works with pretty much anything, tie or no tie. Avoid
Yes.
getting a collar that buttons
Spread
down.
collar.
Doesn't look good with the suit.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with this part here. Button-down collars, I think, are fine. Especially if you don't want to have to keep track of collar stays all the time, which don't go with those flimsy little plastic collar stays that a lot of men's clothing manufacturers give. Invest in some good quality, either brass or stainless steel collar stays. I've got stainless steel collar stays for almost all of my almost all of my dress shirts that have standard collars. But yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think a button-down collar would be just fine with a suit. It is meant to be more casual, but you can dress it up if you want.
Just go for the classic 2-button barrel cuff. No need for French cuffs. No need for cufflinks right now.
Yeah.
Start off by getting a quality
Yeah, when you're first starting out getting dress shirts, go with standard button cuff, and barrels, not anything fancy like French cuffs. French cuffs are for more of a formal occasion. If you have pairs of cufflinks that you like, and you enjoy wearing those with the dress shirt, then by all means do that. Just know that that's not really the default style. And plus cufflinks, they could get lost. There's I think that was one of the reasons that button cuffs became so popular, is that men were just tired of constantly losing their cufflinks. And especially if they were married, their wives got tired of always having to keep track of them whenever they sent the husband's clothing off to the cleaners. So yeah, hence the rise of the button cuff. Just easier and a bit less. It stands out just a bit less, a bit more conservative looking. And that's kind of what you want to go with, is the conservative, safe style. Start from there as a baseline, then slowly and subtly build out from there.
Collection of basic shirts first, and then you can start exploring and finding out what works for you. What do I think about undershirts? I don't think you need them. Get rid of them. They never look good. They make your midsection look heavy.
Yeah.
And some people say that it prevents the sweat stains from going onto the dress shirt, but that doesn't happen. In fact, I think they make you more hot, more sweaty. There's no benefit to it.
It's an extra layer. It's an extra layer. So don't. I personally don't bother with undershirts or anything like that. I never have. It's just an extra layer, especially in some of the warmer climates that I've lived in. It just makes everything worse. And yeah, it's an extra layer that just keeps you hot and in a bad way.
Make sure that when you're wearing a tie, it doesn't go past your belt and it doesn't sit too high up on your torso, because it's going to make you look bad. Also, when selecting the
used to be, ties would be much higher on a man's silhouette and would be well above the waist, and you just button up your jacket and you're good to go. Nowadays, yes, make sure that your tie does not drape over your belt loop. That is a bad look. It's a bad look that was actually is quite frequently done by a former president who doesn't really have very good fashion sense, unfortunately. So yeah, make sure that it's above your belt. Keep it above the belt, lads.
The color of your tie, make sure it fits the color palette of your suit and your dress shirt. I also opt for a tie bar. Not only do I think it looks great, but it also keeps the tie in the same place all day without...
Yes, can't recommend this enough. You don't want your tie flopping about all over the place. You need to... a tie bar will go a long way towards keeping... Well, it does the job. It keeps your tie in place. You basically just slide it in or clip it in against the lining of your shirt where the buttons meet. And it looks good. It looks really good. Can't recommend that enough. Get yourself one or two tie bars or tie clips. I would not go with the tie tack. That can damage your ties over the long term, even though that does the same job. No, a tie bar or a tie slide, tie clip, something like that. Something a bit small and compact for the slimmer ties, and then something that's a bit longer for regular width ties, about maybe 3.5 inches.
Falling to either side. What's the deal with pocket squares? Well, I think pocket squares are great. They allow you to show more personality, add more color to your wardrobe. A lot of people think that your pocket square needs to match your tie or your dress shirt perfectly.
Doesn't have to.
But that's not true. It can be that perfect little accent of color that you don't expect.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it should stay in the same color palette that your tie, suit, and
keep the
dress
theme.
shirt are in.
Keep
there
a
are
theme.
a million ways to fold your pocket square, but I like to keep it simple as I do with most things. So I either go for the
there you
conservative
go.
square, or if I'm feeling very fashionable, I'll go for the 4-point look. It's time to figure out what kind of sock to wear.
That's perfect right there, what he just did. Let's go back and watch that again.
But I like to keep
Okay. So he's putting it flat on his hand. It's
simple as
resting
I
like so. And then watch this carefully, chat. This is a good technique here.
with most
He's
things.
grabbing it,
So I either go
pinching it by the middle, and then just sort of smoothing it out. And then at this point, you could just put it in your pocket on your jacket that way. That's a simpler way that I tend to do with that sort of thing. And that's if I don't fold my pocket square to where it's a perfect rectangle or square, and then just slip it in my pocket. This is one way to do it with a little bit more flair. So he's smoothing it out,
square,
then twisting it one or two times.
I'm feeling
That's
very
good. And then folds it over like so.
fashionable. I'll go for
And then takes it with his hand that he was folding just then.
the 4
Releases, and then
It's time to figure out what
slips
kind of
into the
sock
pocket
to
like
wear.
so. There you go. And that's how he got that. That's actually a brilliant technique.
Here's a place for you to show even more personality and get some crazy colored socks.
This has been a trend in recent years. I mean, if you want a bit of flair, have some fun, and it's not too terribly formal of an event, sure, why not? Also, good choice of shoes here, your standard Oxford shoes. Remember the line from Kingsman? Oxfords, not brogues. Words to live by.
You really only should be seeing your socks when you're seated, so it's
Yes.
okay to get a really flashy color here. For me, because I have big calves, if I wear regular socks, they'll cause the fabric of my suit to bunch up and it won't look great. I wear super low no-show socks. Also, if you're going to be wearing a loafer, don't be afraid to go sockless, especially in the summer. You can tell a lot about a man by looking at his shoes. As long as they match the color palette of your suit and they're great quality.
These are also a good choice, chat. These are what's known as monk strap shoes. So a lot of them will come in this Oxford style, but they are designed to be a slip-on type of shoe. So gives you the look and feel of your standard dress shoe, like an Oxford, but you can just slip them on and off, which is perfect for being in Southeast Asia, where you need that sort of formal look, but you also want the functionality to be able to slip them on and off easily without having to adjust your laces.
You'll be all set. Fashion has no boundaries. There's really no limit to your creativity. These are simply my rules that I think can help you look your best. We've covered a lot of ground. Did you get all that? Are you ready to get suited up? If not, leave your questions down below. I'll get back to you. And if you have someone in your life that you think could benefit from this advice, share this video with them. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe.
A lot of my work involves fashion photography, so whether that means street
Now
style
we're going
photos
to
at
look
New
at the
York
secret to
Fashion Week,
buying a
or
perfect
my wife's
suit.
blog or commercial work. I'm shooting clothes, making them look good, and spotting clothes that look good to me. So at this point, I have a pretty clear idea of what looks good on other people, but I kind of neglect my own wardrobe sometimes. I know enough to look professional and fit in on the job, but you know what I could really use is a nice suit.
Looks rather
Unfortunately,
smart
that's
with his
not
bomber
really
jacket
my
here.
area of expertise. Since I don't really know things about suiting, I need to talk to some experts that do. So I came to Henry Singer. It's easy for me to tell you about clothes that I like, but it's not always clear to me what details about a particular garment attract me to it. I'm missing the vocabulary of an expert.
Valhalla,
Henry Singer has been a
ladies and
staple of
gentlemen.
men's fashion in Western Canada since 1938, and their new flagship store in downtown Calgary is where I can find an expert to take my suiting to the next level. This is Reed. He's the clothing buyer here and spends a lot of time in Italy searching for the finest tailoring and drinking very small coffees. So everything I know about suiting is that the way that it fits is kind of the most important thing. What's the difference that I'm going to find between a $500 and a $1,500 suit?
Well, there's
Good
great
question.
options at $500, and you certainly can find something that fits. At $1,500, you're stepping it up into the next game, which for us is a little bit more about the construction and the fabric.
There are two primary ways for a suit to be constructed. Fused, which is when the garment's inner linings have been glued, or full canvas, where the linings have been sewn, which allow them to move with the body.
The lining needs to be sewn, chat. Glue deteriorates over time. If you're getting a suit that's been practically glued together, you got a cheap suit, and it's going to fall apart on you. There's that old saying, and it's especially true with a lot of men's suiting. If you buy cheap, you'll buy twice.
The benefits of this are that over time, your body heats up the canvas and it gradually takes the shape of your body, so the more you wear it, the better it fits you. It's still possible to find a suit that fits great at a lower price point, but as you spend more, that construction will not only give you a longer lasting suit, but the fabric will look and feel much nicer.
This will give you something to save for. You know, the goal here is not to have an entire, huge wardrobe, of every single color in the spectrum to choose from in shirts and suits and everything else. No, the idea is to have a handful of ties, a handful of dress shirts, and then, two or three go-to suits, maybe a navy blazer that's a separate, and a couple of pairs of, a small handful pairs of trousers, and then black dress shoes, brown dress shoes, maybe a good pair of loafers, and that's it. I mean, that's the basics of a men's wardrobe, and it's really all you need.
When I'm trying to evaluate if a suit really fits me, what are the things that I need to be looking at to know whether I'm wearing the right suit or not?
Yeah, of course. The number one thing is the things that can't be altered. So the shoulder cannot be changed. We cannot let out a shoulder or take in a shoulder. That's the most important part. Also, there's a certain allowance that you are available to alter goods. So if something is too tight, it can only be let out so much. If something's too big, it can only be taken in so much.
Okay, cool. Well, let's try on a few of these and you can show me what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Even the most expensive suit will look awful if it doesn't fit you right. But what I'm not totally clear on is how can I be sure that it is fitting me right? Does this fit me right now?
No, it's too big in the coat waist. You're also getting the chest is breaking across here, and I can see it in the shoulder that it's fitting about a size too big.
This is definitely the biggest problem I see with average guys walking around: baggy suits. I might personally prefer a slimmer than average fit, but so many guys have way too much extra fabric hanging off.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it either way. You don't want something that's practically skin tight. You also don't want something that's too baggy. You want something that's sort of there in the middle, something that is just hits that sweet spot.
For them, it's not a good look. Okay, so what about this whole thing I see guys doing when they walk into a store?
Yeah, the actual sleeve measurement is based on the arms at rest.
Right.
So you don't walk around like this throughout the day. You may drive like this.
More, hands in my pockets maybe.
So that doesn't really matter. What does matter is there's a general rule of thumb. The sleeve should kind of hit where the wrist meets the thumb.
All right, we have another suit here that I like this more right away. Do you? Does this fit me?
Yeah, this one for sure is a better fit. So you can see again through the coat waist, the fit is spot on, where it's not too loose, it's not too big. The shoulder is fitting really, really well, even down through the sleeve. The chest isn't breaking at all, so this is the right fit for you.
So if this were too small for me, where would I see it? Like, what do I need to look out for?
So if it were too small, there's only certain points that can be let out. We look at the side seams along either side of the jacket or through the back through the center seam. So if you felt it was too tight, we can certainly give you a little bit more room through the waist or through the back.
Now that I have my suit picked out, it's time for the extremely critical step of tailoring. Any guy with an average-ish body will be able to find something off the rack. This is something I didn't really realize going into this, that made-to-measure or custom suits are only really required if you've got an uncommon build. For example, huge muscles all over the place. Otherwise, find it.
Most of us are going to be... Most people starting out will buy off the rack. That much can be said. But what he's starting to get into, I don't think I entirely agree with this. Honestly, I think more men need to save their money and go for more of a made-to-measure type suit. I mean, there's just no substitute. It's the best of the best. So there's a good stretch goal to set for yourself. Most of the time, though, yes, you will be buying off the rack. But here's the thing: reason we're seeing a resurgence in tailored clothing, everything from made-to-measure to fully bespoke, is that not all body types are the same. And there's a universal pattern that clothes are built out of, and not everyone's going to fit that. And so to avoid the look of the ill-fitting suit, I mean, obviously, yes, you're going to have something that's off-the-rack tailored, but there's the added benefit of made-to-measure and fully bespoke, is that you can get something that's just for you. And you know it's going to be a good fit, especially if they're any sort of tailor worth their salt.
A nice suit that fits and get it tailored. those final details can make all the difference. For example, where your pants fall on your shoes. If you're a pretty conservative guy, your pant can just barely start to create a slight break over your shoe. But if it starts folding over, it looks sloppy. If you want to go down the more European route, showing an inch or two of ankle is acceptable and super cool. Personally, I'm going to land somewhere in between. So after a few days of patiently waiting, I got the call that my suit is ready. And like that, I have a new favorite suit. I learned a lot in this process going through dozens of suits with somebody that's really qualified to give me advice that I can't really figure out just looking at stuff on the rack or looking at suits on other people. I really have to try them on and have somebody point out all the little issues with it. Some of the most common problems I've had buying my own suits in the past is when there's a little bit too much space behind the collar and it separates. This sits very nicely along the back. The sleeve and the jacket length are well proportioned, and there's a good balance between being able to move around, but it's still slim fitting. Like, basically, it's the shape of my body. That's what I was hoping for. Of course, when you buy a suit, you're not buying it in isolation. You're planning on a long-term wardrobe. So I bought a slightly bolder check since I already had a basic gray and dark blue suit. I know a lot of people's first suit might be black, but I actually haven't bought a black suit yet, and I don't really feel like I need one. It's a really formal color. It's not as versatile, and you'll get a lot more wear out of some of these other colors. This is also the highest I've ever hemmed my pants. I've always thought it looks great on other guys, but I've kind of been too conservative to go there myself. And I'm really glad I did. I think it looks really cool. For my shirt, I decided to go with white because you can never have enough white shirts. They get dirty pretty quickly. And what I wanted was a slightly more formal shirt that still has collar structure. So usually I'll wear button downs that have, you know, a button here to keep the collar from flopping around. This is a bit stiffer of a shirt and has this extra wide collar spread. And importantly, it's not going to droop down and look sloppy when I'm not wearing a tie. A lot of my favorite things about this suit aren't even going to come across in the video because it's the way that it feels and the way that it moves. I really recommend that you go and try on some very expensive suits that you can't afford just to know what they're like and know what the difference is when you're shopping for a suit that you can afford in the future. And thank you again to Henry Singer, because having somebody like Reed guide me through this process was incredibly helpful, and I have a much clearer understanding of what I'm looking for now. So next time you're in Calgary, be sure to go see them at 8th Avenue Place. And next time you're on Instagram, come see me.
All right, there's that one. Let's see. I think we've talked enough about how a suit should fit. Let's see. Oh, here's a fun one. Chat, I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Kingsman, but let's figure out how to dress like a Kingsman.
Kingsman, the Secret Service. When it came out in 2014, I went and checked it out at the theaters. I came out thinking that was crude, that was violent, that was over the top. That was friggin' amazing. Guys, I love that movie. It was a guilty pleasure.
It's a good one.
Whether or not you like the movie or you didn't, you have to admit, there were some pretty amazing
Yeah, look at that. Hardy Hart.
So with the new movie coming out, Kingsman, the Golden Circle, let's revisit the looks of the Kingsman. In fact, today, I've got 10 tips, 10 style secrets you can steal from the Kingsman.
This chap's good. Gentleman from Real Men, Real Style.
Tip number 1 to steal from the Kingsman, gentlemen, own your image.
Yes.
Know what you stand for, and then have the confidence to wear clothing that sends the message you want to send. So if you're a student with aspirations to graduate number 1 in your class, dress like that student. If you're a young engineer, you're a young consultant, you're an up-and-coming doctor, you are a lawyer that's been in your practice for 30 years and has had great success. Dress to that part. Don't betray people's expectations. So in the movie Kingsman, we see these guys.
Well, you're not exactly betraying expectations. You are setting your own expectations. You know, you're looking the part, and people are vibing off of that. But so is the law of attraction. And the way the law of attraction works is that what you focus on, you attract. And dressing the part of somebody who is going in and out of somebody who is successful, you know, successful doctor, lawyer, whatever, businessman, that will manifest, especially if you do it often enough. But yeah, and it goes back to the whole part of be the best dressed in the room. Because if you are, you own that room. People see you and they see the alpha, they see the top dog, and whatever it is you want, you need to start acting it. Act like you've already got it. Ask for it almost like you don't even need it, because you've already got it. And it will manifest.
Out of scenes. They are always dressed to the, I mean, they're dressed to the nines. They look good. Are they worried about being the best dressed man in the room? Are they worried
They
about standing
are the
apart?
best dressed men
No,
in the
when
room.
They walk in, when Harry Hart walks into a bar, what's he doing? He's going in there to kick some backside. I'm impressed with their ability
Manners
throughout
maketh
the movie,
man.
all the Kingsmen, to basically dress with confidence. Tip number 2 to steal from the Kingsmen, which I think they stole from me, is the style pyramid. Let's talk about fit. Let's talk about fabric. Let's talk about function. So first off, talking about fit. All of the suits we see in the movie are of the English cut. Now, there are 3 types
Chef's
of suit
kiss.
cuts out there.
The
In
English
general, you're going
cut.
to see the silhouette
The
of the English.
best.
You're going to see the Italian silhouette. You're going to see the American silhouette. American silhouette's based off the sack suit. The Italian is going to be closer to the body, not really with any form. And then we're going to get to the English. Here we see a lot of structure in the suit. We're going to see built-up shoulders. We're going to see a built-up chest area. In and around the waist, it's going to be very trim. Overall, this gives almost like a feeling of a suit of armor, but this is a very well-crafted overall silhouette, something that is very distinctive. And when we see this, maybe we don't know what we're seeing, but it just feels British.
Yeah.
Also, throughout the movie, all the actors on their clothing, whether it be casual or formal, we saw immaculate fits. We see high armholes. We also see it where you can always see a little bit of cuff. Those small details, the way that their trousers fit them, nothing was overly loose. Those details matter. And so the fit, they nailed it in the movie. Next up, let's talk about the fabric and the build quality of the items we see in the movie. So when you're looking at the clothing, you're looking at the accessories, you're looking at the luxury goods in the movie, you notice they look really good. I mean, those shoes are beautiful. Why are they so nice? Because they're using a high-end leather. They take well to a polish with the clothing, with the suits. These are suits that are thousands of dollars. With that, you're getting a very nice fabric that has a great drape. You're going to see watches on there that are beautiful, that cost almost $20,000. Now, I know that's outside the budget of most people watching this channel. So how can you get that? Well, you want to go.
You can
in
get
and
it on a
really
budget.
Get an understanding of what the best is. So go into the best luxury store in your area. Check out the clothing, look at the jackets, look at the shoes, look at the watches. Start to learn more, because this is what happens. Occasionally, when you're out there shopping, you're going to see a great deal. And when you see a great deal and you know it's a great deal, you can jump on it. Sometimes get something that would normally be, let's say, $3,000. Maybe it's on sale for $500. And that's what I think you can learn from
That would be a hell of a
is
sale.
that there is, sometimes luxury is worth paying for. When you look at items that get passed on, you look at items that when you wear them, that you love them, items that you're going to wear again and again, especially if you work in this clothing, if this is your suit of armor, when you go into a business proposal trying to close $1 million deal, this is something I think is worth the investment. Now let's talk about
Yes.
function, which I have
It's an
to say
investment
this
in
movie
yourself.
maybe didn't do it super well. Maybe they ignored this part of my style pyramid, because wearing a suit into a church fight, going and wearing a tuxedo when you're jumping out of an airplane, probably not the best clothing for that purpose, but hey, they made it work. Style
It's
tip
the
number 3,
movies. What do
steal
you
from the
expect,
Kingsman.
eh?
Always make sure you take care of your hair. So throughout the movie, what do we see? The classic business comb over. We see a nice part on all the Kingsmen. They understand this is a great style for them, sends the message they
Yes.
want to send. Looks like they're all using a pomade. Guys, these guys take care of their hair, because at the end of the movie, what do we see? Eggsy has just battled over 100 henchmen. He just battled the number 2 bad guy in a vicious fight. He took on the number 1 bad guy. He has saved the world. He's run into Princess Tildy with a smile on his face. You know why? Because he knows that every single hair on his head is in place. Style tip number 4 to steal from the Kingsman, the double-breasted suit. So in this movie, it really worked. It's a very quintessential British type of suit, and I loved how they actually did it right. So let's look at this.
Done right,
double-breasted
it can
suit.
look very
6
smart.
buttons. What we
But
wanna
don't
look
think
for
you have
is
to
the
do a
wide
double-breasted
formation
suit, chat.
on the buttons. You don't want to ever buy a double-breasted suit that's going to have the V formation. You're going to see this sometimes
Yeah, no,
online.
no.
That is an abomination. Do not buy that. Also, we saw peak lapels. We saw the double vents on the back. We didn't see any ticket pockets, and they used the right type of fabric. So whoever did the design work for this movie did a great job. Now, am I saying that you need to bring in the double-breasted suit? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm actually saying in this point is find a look that works for you. Something maybe that's a bit different, something that makes it distinctive. It may be a fun
be
pair of
subtle
glasses
about it.
because you work in a creative field. Maybe you decide that's going to be something that's going to help you stand out from the pack. Whatever it is, guys, make sure to own it and make it yours. Style detail number 5 to steal.
Honestly, the one thing that can really stand out is a good tie. Just a really nice tie that adds just enough of a pop of color without being too terribly flashy or offensive to the eyes.
From the Kingsman, the regimental striped tie. So
Ah.
throughout the movie, you'll notice that the different characters, they're all wearing the same striped tie with the same colors. And I
You
know
see
the
my
red,
point.
white, and blue, us Americans like to think it's all ours, but we did steal it from our brothers and sisters over on the other side of the ocean. But what I love about this is that this, again, is something quintessential British. It used to be that the only neckties you could wear were ones that were
Yes, here we go. These are examples of regimental striped ties. They're usually keyed to a certain division of the British armed forces, and so these are good examples. So something like this, I wouldn't necessarily, unless you were in these particular divisions of the military, I wouldn't recommend actually wearing these. You know, there's that whole thing about stolen valor, as it were. But take these as sort of an inspiration of, okay, something that's maybe navy with the green stripe. There's a good idea of something or something that's just sort of a classic red and blue or red, white and blue. Something like that. Maybe not necessarily with this design here, but something similar.
Represented with the military unit you have been a part of, or what schools, universities you had gone to. In the United States, what we see is actually the stripe goes the opposite direction.
Yes.
That was actually introduced by Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, Brooks Brothers
What you
stripes
see right
go
here
go
on
the
this
opposite
one
direction of
is
what
one that,
what
yes,
he's got on.
follows the British type of lean, but it actually has a U.S. Navy background. So
Yeah, so this is Brooks Brothers tend to go the opposite direction from top left to bottom right. Everyone else tends to go top right, bottom left.
So this one I had special custom made. I have another one right here from the United States Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps, so for me, this had a special meaning. If you find something, hey, I was actually maybe in the Boy Scouts, I was part of the Peace Corps, you did something and you want to bring it into your wardrobe, why not?
That's
Style
smart.
tip number 6 to steal from.
I've done that myself with my clan, being not only English but Scottish in origin. I won't dox myself and say which clan I'm part of, but I've got ties. I've got neckties that are wool, and they are the pattern is the clan's tartan, and I've got that. I've also got a pocket square that is the same tartan pattern, and that's sort of bringing in the heritage there. I've got red, white, and blue ties, which sometimes people mistake that for American, but red, white, and blue is, of course, the color of the Union Jack, which is the union of both the flag of England and the flag of Scotland. And that's sort of like that old song, Red, White, and Blue, what does it mean to you? Surely you're proud, shout it aloud, Britain's away. Red, white, and blue, the Empire too, we can depend on you. Freedom remains, these are the chains nothing can break. That's an old song called There'll Always Be in England.
The Kingsmen, pay attention to the small details. So you'll notice on their jackets, what do they have? A simple presidential fold.
Yes, nice and simple.
This small detail on a jacket makes a huge difference. So whenever you're getting dressed, whenever you're wearing your uniform, whether it be casual, whether it be something that's going to be more formal, pay attention to those small details. If you're going for a casual look, make sure that your shoes are well polished. Are well
Yes,
put together.
polish your
Yes,
shoes,
maybe wear a
lads.
Type of just sneakers, but make sure they're the right type of sneakers. Maybe go for something that's going to be a little bit nicer, something that's really going to make that outfit pop.
Chuck Taylor
Speaking of footwear,
All-Stars.
gentlemen, let's talk
Good
about style
choice.
tip number 7, the right shoe for the right job. So remember that part of the movie when Gazelle and Eggsy are running at each other. Gazelle, she's kind of hard to forget. She's that beautiful double amputee that has razors as legs, and they're going at each other. And what happens? Eggsy realizes that, hey, I've got the right shoes for the right job, and all of a sudden that retractable poison blade, which probably most of us have in our shoes, comes out and does its job. So at the end of the day, gentlemen, I'm not going to say a dress shoe like this is
There's your
perfect
pair of
for
shoes,
what
Bun.
you with the uniform that you have. It may be work shoes, it may be non-slip, oil-resistant shoes. For me, for what I do, oftentimes it is going to be a dress shoe. But I make sure that, hey, I pay attention and I invest in
Dress shoes
the
are
right
good.
footwear.
Something else, lads, you might also consider, in addition to just a good pair of Oxfords, a pair of Shucker boots. Those are good almost all year round. They're a bit higher, almost like a high top style, but dressier. Um, Crockett and Jones, I believe, has a really good one that they make in both black and brown. Um, those are good, and then hard to go wrong with the classic Chelsea boot. Uh, Popularized in men's style, good for both. You can dress it up and dress it down. You had everyone from Mick Jagger to the Beatles wearing those, 60 years ago, and they looked good back then. They still look good now.
Advise you to look at good shoes. And yes, you may cry once about the price, but after that, you're going to feel great and you're going to look good. And guys, it's a huge confidence boost when you get your first pair of amazing.
Oh, there's
fitting
nothing
dress
like
shoes.
it. A
Starts
good
at
pair of
the break
fitting
to steal for the
shoes,
Kingsmen.
yeah.
Don't be afraid of wearing an extra ring. So throughout the movie, we see actually all the Kingsmen have a signet ring, and that's worn on their right hand on the pinky finger. It's made of gold. It's got their little emblem.
Signet rings, yeah, you can wear it on the pinky finger. You can also wear it on the right ring finger. Would not wear it on your left ring finger because that would, depending on if you're married or not, that's typically where you wear a wedding band. Yeah, you can wear it on your pinky finger. I actually have a signet ring. I don't wear it on my pinky finger though. I wear it on my right ring finger, and it's actually of a Scottish rampant lion. It was something I saw. A Canadian gentleman made it custom for me, and I saw the design. It's just so simple, and it was exactly what I was looking for. And I was like, I got to have it. I got to have it. And so he made it for me, shipped it to my house, and yeah, I've had it for years. You can tell I've had it for years because it has it has molded and formed to the shape of my finger, and it does it has a few parts of it that are starting to show its age, but that's only helped it. I think it's added a sort of like a patina to it, or patina, as it were. Um, it's added some age to it with its age. It's showing its age, but that's all right. It still looks good. So yeah, I've thought about getting one with my clan crest on it. Not sure I'd ever wear that for public appearances as a VTuber though, just because I don't want to dox myself. But yeah, there you have it. That's that's signet rings. That's kind of an old, very old school thing, but sort of coming back into style. There's a good video from TGV, from the Urban Gentry, about signet rings. I'll have to find it. No, we may watch it later.
On it, and it's just a way of men picking up who are part of the club. Now you see this also with engineers up in Canada. You see this with those that are part of a Mason's Lodge. We see this with guys that have graduated from certain universities, maybe from Annapolis or from Texas A&M. At the end of the day, get comfortable
Yes,
with jewelry, whether it be
that's another thing.
necklaces,
Class rings. I've got class rings, both undergraduate and graduate level. But yeah, that's also a way that you sort of identify each other. And I know exactly what he's talking about with Texas A&M. Having associated with a lot of Aggies myself, that is definitely a thing. That's how you identify who is a graduate of Texas A&M, is with what's known as the Aggie ring. Funny story about that. Don't know how true this is, but there was a young Aggie who was going home from College Station, where Texas A&M University is located there in Texas, is in a town called College Station, Texas. Right there, central, a couple of hours north of Houston and several hours drive from Dallas. He was driving home. He gets pulled over by a policeman and was pulled over for speeding. Policeman does the usual thing of, do you have any idea how fast you were going? Blah, blah, blah. Then he notices the class ring that he's wearing, the Aggie ring on his finger. And he asks him, you're a graduate of Texas A&M, you're an Aggie? And the young man driving the car says, yeah, class of such and such. Told him his graduating year. Policeman takes his license and proof of insurance and says, hang on a minute. Goes to his car for a few minutes. Comes back, hands him back his license and registration, and then shows off his Aggie ring. Class of some year, a few years earlier. Says, slow it down. Have a good day. Walks away, drives off. That's the end of it. Sort of an illustrative way of showcasing the power of the Aggie network. Aggies looking out for Aggies. And I have seen that firsthand. They get in somewhere and they start looking out for each other and they start bringing in more Aggies. Yeah, it is quite the fraternity. And yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive. You only see that perhaps sometimes with you see it more with a lot of the Ivy League schools. So Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, Princeton. A lot of them look out for each other and they'll hire each other. You see it with the British universities like Cambridge and Oxford. A lot of them they tend to hire their own, look out for their own. Sort of becomes an alumni club, which is as it should be. You know, you're not just there to get an education; you're there to get into a network of people who are supposed to look out for each other after graduation. Unfortunately, I went to a much smaller school that didn't quite have that. But that's the extent of where it matters where you went to school, really, just in terms of the network. Other than that, really doesn't matter where you go to school.
Whether it be bracelets, I'm not saying that you need to wear a lot, but I am saying be open. And if it's something maybe that's been passed down in your family, something that has meaning to you, don't be afraid to wear it. Style tip number 9, to steal from the Kingsman. Don't be afraid to invest in the right accessories.
Yes. Don't be afraid to accessorize, gents.
Maybe it's going to be cufflinks. Maybe it's going to be a particular bag that you're going to use every single day, and it's going to, as it ages, it's going to look better and better with time. One of my favorite accessories in the Kingsman is the umbrella. Again, this is a very British. I thought
a good umbrella like that, worth its weight in gold.
If you spent time in London, you know it rains a lot. Now, I don't know where they're getting those umbrellas that protect you from bullets and actually send off shock waves. Those are pretty darn cool. The point is, gentlemen, don't be afraid to save up and spend good money on an accessory that's functional, one that you use a lot, one that you want to give meaning to, one maybe you want to pass down, and one that, yeah, may make you cry when you go out there and you spend the money, but when you have it, when you use it, you're really going to appreciate it. Style tip number 10, to steal from the Kingsman. Gentlemen, I want to hear from you. Down in the comments, let me know.
Oh, come on.
Should I have added to this video?
You can't come up with your own 10th?
Coming out, if any of you guys have seen it, maybe I should talk about some of the Statesmen, some of their style. I think that's some pretty cool stuff there. But if you go look at the first movie, maybe there was something that you just saw in that movie. You're like, Antonio, I don't think anyone else saw this. Let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys.
That's a bit of a cop-out, I think. Right, chat, we're at just over the 2-hour mark. Let me go ahead and switch back to the intro screen here. By the way, we recently hit the 140th follow mark, and just checking the counter here. It does look like we're up to how many? 145? Is that where we're at? I don't know. We're at 145 follows. So yeah, that's fantastic, and we have a new follow goal of 150. So I just need 5 more follows, and we'll hit the 150 mark. That's really fantastic. Um, but let me go ahead and tell you about our sponsor here for this last portion of our stream, and that is the Cash App. Cash App is an excellent way to send money or receive money from anyone, anywhere around the world. Join me, Lord Rexworth, on the Cash App and try the Cash App for yourself using my code here. Let me just type in the command code for Stream Elements to display. Try the Cash App using my code, and we'll both get $5 when you link a new bank account and send $5. Use that code, click that link there in chat, and download the Cash App for either Apple or Android devices. And try it today. Send and receive money smarter with the Cash App. Right, that is going to do it for this edition. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm not, I haven't really done a whole lot of video reacts, but I think we had a good pacing there, and I think that went rather well. And it's about topics that are definitely of interest to me. But would love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully that was entertaining and illuminating for you. And with that, we will go ahead and find someone to raid here. In the meantime, do stay in touch with me. All links available at lordrexworth.com, lordrexworth.com, including links to our links to sponsors, Dubby, the Cash App, and also Wise. They're at the bottom of the website. Let's see. Let's see who's online that we can raid. Who's online that we can raid? Oh, I don't think we've raided La Bumblebee. I don't think I've been streaming at the same time she has. So let's punch in the raid code. There we go. Yeah, let's go raid La Bumblebee. She's playing Genshin Impact right now. Fantastic. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I will see all of you tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Oh, right. Playing Dead by Daylight. Tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go watch La Bumblebee do her thing. I'm Lord Rexworth, wishing you all the best, and God bless.